Broadcasting from the Eagles Herf, it's Smoking Sounds, the ultimate podcast for cigar and pipe enthusiasts and those looking to embark on a journey where smoke intertwines with sound. What's up, everybody? I'm Sean, one of the hosts of Smoking Sounds, and joining me is a man who needs no introduction. He once put a leprechaun in a figure four leg lock for stealing his Irish blessing pipe tobacco. It's Justin!
Hello, everybody. How are you? And note that I didn't come on to do some cheesy Irish accent. Believe me, at my best, if I call it cheesy, that's a compliment because it's really not that good at all. But
hey, this is our first shot at a St Paddy Day episode.
That's right. We are. This is going to be released around St. Patrick's Day, and we're actually on the front porch of the Eagles Herf.
That's right.
And let me tell you what, it's like 75 degrees, got cloudy skies, so no sun, almost no breeze. So as I've often said, when the weather's good here, which is not often, but when I do, I say, if you're not living here, you're camping out. So we're on the front porch, got the cigars we're going to talk about, and all of the foolishness that is.
We're going to be some filthy hooligans. Yeah. Just so you know, that's just a little hint of what's to come. So run into the kitchen real quick, pour yourself a big old bowl of Lucky Charms. Yeah. It's time for St. Paddy's Day on Smoking Sounds.
They're always after me, Lucky Charms.
Always. So, well, let me ask you this real quick, Justin, because we're not, like you kind of said in your post earlier, we're not going to be featuring a playlist. So do you want to go ahead and start what we're going to be featuring now?
Sure, absolutely.
Okay, give me just 1 second, while I get on the ones and twos, as they would say here.
Oh, yeah.
So we're going to lose the music for just a second there, but that's okay because in 3, 2, 1...
Hi, this is Fiona Ritchie with Celtic Music on Thistle Radio.
Oh, listen to that now. Makes me wish I was at Kilkenny's throwing back a harp. That's a like Guinness's light beer.
Yeah. Hey, I'm glad you brought up Guinness. Listen, I was going to bring this up later, but what a perfect opening. Speaking of Guinness beer, I want to congratulate all of my brothers in the Tulsa Rumblers. Listen, they are featured in Guinness's new ad campaign, Real People, Real Stories, Real Moments Over Pints. So look for that on all the social medias.
Oh, my gosh.
The Rumblers were picked to represent. They picked something from each of the 50 states, and the Tulsa Rumblers were picked to represent Oklahoma.
Oh,
and you'll see Baudry and Josh and Brett. We didn't all get to make the photo, but hey, you know what? We were out there. We got to meet a great guy, a photographer from Austin, and so that was cool. But yeah, so since you brought up Guinness, I thought, well, hey, that's a great opportunity to bring that up.
So what we're listening to is this is Thistle Radio from Soma FM. And I have the link on our Facebook page. You can download the app, or you can just go to somafm.com. Now, who are they? Who are Soma FM? They play a number of radio channels. They are commercial-free. They are listener-supported. And they play an eclectic array of electronic music. They have things like Groove Sound, which is kind of like office-friendly electronica. They play Dubstep Beyond, which is like hardcore dubstep, uncensored kind of thing. They have Thistle Radio, like what we're hearing now. And there's even one of my favorite stations actually is called Bootlicker. That's Liquor.
Uh-oh. Sounds like the perfect station for Smoking Sound.
Yeah, it's for cow hands, cow pokes, and cow tippers. So
if you're listening to that, make sure you're tipping. Since this is listener supported.
That's right.
And they've got some great, I think I'm saying it right, ambient music.
Oh, yes.
There's some stations you could listen to just sleeping and stuff.
Right. And in fact, one of my favorite stations that I have listened to quite over the years, it's called The Dark Zone, and it's like dark ambient. And yes, folks, I actually do use that for like meditation when I just need to clear my mind. I mean, nothing beats like coming out here, like 11 at night with the dark ambient going and some dark pipe tobacco. and just kind of think about life and kind of put things in perspective. I do that all the time. I've been listening to Soma FM since about the early 2000s. Guess what? I found them. How many are? I'm going to take y'all back to old school.
We're going, let's hit the rewind button. I don't know if this is the right one.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no, that's Brother Al's.
Well,
I think this is it. I think I found it.
Okay. So
rewind.
So back in the early 2000s, I was in school, and I was using the Winamp player at work. How many of y'all,
oh wow,
whipping the camel's ass, and how many of y'all remember that Winamp? Okay, so it was on the Windows computer, the Windows the Windows ME computer.
I think you used to try to use that as a player when you'd rip music from Napster.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so it found it for me, Soma FM, and I just started looking at all their channels and stuff, and again, I'd encourage you guys to get the app and just hear something different. Again, if you're bothered by commercials and same song over and over, and honestly, now I do have Sirius XM, and I do have like of course iHeart and TuneIn and Apple Music, but I still hear stuff on these these channels, shall I say, that you don't hear on any of those other, those other type streaming services. So, where else are you going to find Thistle Radio year round? I mean, the iHeart will bring out their St. Patrick's Day station. Yeah. And that's cool. It's a good station. I'm not putting them down at all. But this is Thistle all the time. So, if you're kind of that way, well then Thistle is right there. They also have they have covers, and that's where I found I began to find a lot of remember we had the Covered in Smoke playlist?
Yeah.
And I found a lot of them there. It says, songs you know by artists you don't. And stuff like this, and I stole that line from them. So anyway, I just encourage y'all to get with Soma. Kind of support these guys. Again, nonprofit, listener supported. When you email the DJs, they do get back to you like in a timely manner. I'll say, hey, why is this track on here? Or where did you find this? And he'll tell me like, oh, literally, I've had a DJ say, oh, I was in a vinyl store, and it was in the like the bargain bin for like $1 or whatever.
Wow!
And he brought it on the station to play itself. So anyway,
and I'll put a link to Soma FM in the show notes, along with all the other stuff that we try to put in there, links to Facebook and all that. So, but you know what, Justin, we haven't done it in a while. So why don't we take a step into the Smoking Report, brought to you by Adam. Look for Adam on Instagram at Smokin' Sketches. Adam just did some awesome sketches of me and Justin. You've probably seen it as our new cover art for the podcast. That was quite a surprise. I don't know that Justin is as enthusiastic and pumped and psyched about it as I am. I know he liked it, but I'm just telling you, that was so cool.
It was very cool, but you guys, as a lot of you know, audio is my thing. Visual, I got to take your word for it.
Yeah, well, I'm telling you, it's the coolest thing that has happened to us this week.
Oh, my gosh. And a lot of cool things have happened.
Well, listen, what have you been smoking on, brother?
Well, I tell you what, of course.
And while you're doing that, I'm going to start lighting up this Filthy Hooligan.
All right. So basically, I have been kind of revisiting, usually around St. Patrick's Day or this time of year, I kind of revisit some old classics like Peterson's Irish Whiskey, which is kind of it's like an Irish codger blend, real Virginia, but yes, the whiskey taste does come through. Nutty Irishman, which has more of a burley forward kind of taste, but a sweet aroma, and all that kind of stuff. And so I try to hit some of those, and let's see. Oh, and again, now I've talked about Borkum Riff Black Cavendish, but I wanted to mention it again because it might be going away with all this takeover nonsense. So if you see some online or you see some at the store, I definitely want you to grab that. It is so very good, and Borkum Riff has been around for for like 100 and well, I don't know, but long time.
Long time ago.
And so anyway, so we got our cigars going here. I'm going to get mine lit here in just a second, but we're pairing them to stay green. We got the Mountain Dew Zero Sugar to pair them with. And
that's good.
Yeah.
That's my first time having the zero. I've had the Diet Mountain Dew. Jess used to drink that a lot. But this is my first time having a zero sugar Mountain Dew, and it does. I thought Diet Mountain Dew was a real close pairing to Mountain Dew, but this is pretty good moonshine juice here.
Yeah, so I figured again on this kind of St. Paddy's Day, we are going to kind of stay green. I'm even in a olive drab T-shirt and that kind of thing. So because you always have to be ready for the photo op. But
that's right.
But Sean, what you been smoking?
So listen, brother, I got a few things. So I've got to say, well, the first thing I wanted to bring up was I smoked from La Serena. It's part of this month's Pravada Cigar Club's limited cigar association box, the Super Sea Monkeys. It was a dark, oily, oscuro wrapper, and it was fantastic, and it even had the little pigtail at the end of the cigar. I always hate cutting those because I don't ever know if I'm cutting it just right, but so that was a great cigar. But I got to tell you, and I know I'm probably going to screw this up, and I apologize in advance, but the Belas Artis from AJ Fernandez is a Brazilian Maduro cigar. Listen, guys, our good brothers over at the Lounge Life podcast, Rob and brother Big Al, they just released a budget cigar episode yesterday, and I don't know that this would. So this is like $9.50. I don't know if you would consider that a budget cigar, but if you're looking for a great cigar, I'm telling you, this is one of my constant. I keep it in the Cigar Bros humidor because it's a great cigar at a great price. That's the Belas Artis, and I may be screwing that up, from AJ Fernandez. It's a Brazilian Maduro. Thank you to Steve over at the Tobacco Pouch. At the Tulsa Hill Cigars for turning me onto that one. And right before I headed over to Justin's to the Eagles Herf, we got some breaking news, Justin.
Uh-oh, let's hear it.
So, and this is right up your alley here, brother. Macanudo has announced 3 new flavors to savor in the M series. So coming soon, we're going to have Irish cream, vanilla smoky bourbon, and a honey flavor to the Macanudo M series. And I know how much you like those.
Oh, man, I'm all about really, Macanudo is not my cup of tea, but the Macanudo M, I am totally down with. So I am definitely looking forward to particularly the vanilla bourbon and that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
and
Irish cream will be right up your alley too.
Oh yeah, now you were mentioning that one with the Brazilian wrapper.
Uh-huh.
Let me tell you what. I got introduced to Brasilia with remember the CAO Brazil that we had.
Oh, the Amazon Basin.
No. Before that, remember we had the CAO cigars, and there was like the Brasilia or something like that.
Oh yes, I do. Yes.
Okay,
yes.
So from then, not that I've had a lot of them, but really, there's really not much of when you say Brazilian wrapper. I'm already on board. I'm already there, so I've got to try one.
I've got to get you one of these.
I got to try one of those cigars, and if it comes recommended by the Lounge Life. Oh, you can't go wrong, guys. You can't go wrong. Those guys know what they're talking about. Me and Sean, we just pretend like we know.
That's right.
But they do know.
We just try to pretend like we're howling with Big Al. We love you, Alan Wolf. We absolutely do. And Rob is at Sticks by the Shore. If you were looking for those guys, at Lounge Life Podcast. Some of our friends, we absolutely love them. So let's go ahead and that's going to conclude the Smoking Sound Smoking Report, brought to you by Smoking Sketches. Find Adam on Instagram. Check out all the cool sketches he's done. They're not just of me and Justin. I would love to lie to you and tell you that we're his favorite models to draw, but we're probably not. So
now he has better taste than that. Come on.
Well, Yeah, you're right. He probably does. But, and, we always want to remind people, April 12th, right here in Tulsa, Oklahoma, Thelma's Peach.
Yep.
R.R. Williams and the band 10 Killer. Me and Justin are going to be out there, and we're working out the details to get a Smoking Sounds episode recorded with those guys prior to them playing. So
we are going to definitely do our best. So look, I'd love to promise the listeners we're definitely going to have one, but you know how everybody's schedules, everybody's this, everybody's that. So we are going to do our best to talk with them before the show and kind of throw in some other things we do have for the future. Our ladies only cigar episode will be coming up, where we talk about the ladies who enjoy cigars. We're going to have some very special guests. Again, we'll just be asking the questions. They'll be doing all the talking. And
we'll have Andrea fresh off of the PCA.
That's right. So we want to have you guys be looking forward to that. As far as I know, and I could be, and I probably am wrong, but as far as I know, I don't know of any other podcast who does a females only perspective on cigars. Me and Shaw will be asking questions, and we'll be smoking something, but it's mainly, hey ladies, tell us what you like, tell us what you don't like in cigars, and so we have that to look forward to.
And I may not get to it, but I believe March is Women's Appreciation Month, right?
I
believe that's what it is. So
I think that's right.
I wish we could have gotten that recorded for March, but we want to give Andrea, I know she's busy right now and she's getting ready to go to the PCA. And I just thought, man, if we could get her afterwards, then we'll get some cool stories from maybe some new things they're going to be bringing into Tulsa Hills and all that good stuff. So
and I don't know, again, this is schedules and sometimes weather. By the way, the heaviest snows, there are like the top 3 heaviest snows we've ever gotten in Oklahoma have all occurred in March.
Wow.
Not February, not January, not December, all in March. So we still have to worry about the weather. So we also we're going to be talking with Bourbon and Ash, a new cigar lounge. We want to kind of go out there and talk with Josh. And we meant to do that, then the flu came along and snow came along and everything came along. But we are definitely going to do that. We love really promoting our local hangouts here and that kind of thing.
And speaking of local hangouts, so Tulsa Hill Cigars they have been having the LCA, the Pravada Cigar Club box, but just this month, Classic Cigars, Jeff and Andy down there at Classic Cigars, they now also have the limited Cigar Association box. So if you can't make it out to Tulsa Hills to get it's the first Friday of every month, 2 cigars are released. This month it was the Sea Monkeys, and there was one from Warped. I cannot remember what it was called, but it was like a Lacero. Is that right? Am I saying that right? Like it's the long, thinny. See, Thistle Radio's got me. It's kind of the long, thinner cigar. What's that Vitola called? It's not.
Wow. I want to say
Longsdale. That's
Longsdale,
it.
okay.
Yeah.
So
what the hell did I just call it?
I don't. We may have to censor that. But no.
Shit.
No. But all right. So we got the filthy hooligan going here
from Alec Bradley Cigars.
Mm-hmm. All right, so Sean, what are you getting? What do you think?
So
here?
It's a Candela wrapper. It's a barber pole, right?
Uh-huh.
So I was hoping, they tell you that it's a Candela wrapper. They don't really give you much about the other wrapper. And then they have another Filthy Hooligan that actually has 3 wrappers in it. I was hoping it was like a Habano. Thanks, Justin. Or a Maduro. But right now it's just it's real light. It's a real light smoke.
Exactly. And so I'm
great aromatics.
Oh yeah, when I was talking about the pipe tobacco, I was kind of revisiting, and he had his going, and it smells really good. But yeah, this is definitely a lighter one. I am actually it's kind of nutty, almost kind of. I don't want to say citrusy in the like orange or lemon lime.
Well, see, I didn't know if it was the cigar or the Diet Mountain or the Zero Sugar Mountain Dew.
Well, I think the two actually really complement each other.
Yeah,
because the Mountain Dew kind of has that kind of citrusy, kind of more. It's not a dark taste. And I think just by providence or whatever, we paired these up because they are really good. The Candela wrappers tend to be almost kind of grassy.
Yes.
In taste. So that's kind of what I'm getting. Draw is real good.
Draw's real good. Hey, and I love Alec Bradley, but the Maverick, I believe it's the Maverick that Bryce does from Silent Hero Cigars, his Candela. I have not had a Candela yet to beat that one. And some more breaking news, Justin. I don't know if you saw this, but Tulsa Hill Cigars was carrying just like the little variety pack of Silent Hero cigars. Those were such good sellers. They are now selling individual sticks of the Candela and the Habano from Silent Hero Cigars.
Oh, that is great. I mean, they are doing great.
Could not happen to a greater guy in Bryce.
They are doing great work.
And thank you, Steve. Thank you for that.
Yeah, and we're we would like to take credit, like, because we recommended these cigars. No, those cigars recommended themselves, right. And his work recommended itself. We were just fortunate enough to kind of be cheering them on. So
that's right,
definitely.
And a little funny story is when we were talking about because we don't typically prepare for our episodes. Sometimes they happen when we hit the record button. But I knew we were going to be doing some St. Paddy's Day stuff, and I thought, well, let me just ask ChatGPT. I don't have a real good relationship with ChatGPT, but I thought, well, let me just ask ChatGPT, like, what is the history of St. Patrick's Day and cigars? And ChatGPT basically laughed at me. And said, it's pipe tobacco, idiot, not cigars. And but it did decide to play nice, So, but before I get into this list, I want to say what's up and we love you to my brother Adam. He's always listening, and I always like to give him a shout out on the podcast. So we appreciate when he comes on, and he's always hanging out with us. But it said many cigar companies release St. Patrick's Day themed cigars, often featuring green Candela wrappers, and that's what we're doing here.
Yep.
It's become linked to the holiday because of Ireland's national color. Some notable examples include the Alec Bradley Filthy Hooligan, the Camacho Candela, then the Black Market Filthy Hooligan Shamrock. That's the 3-wrapper one I was talking about. And I think we can add the Maverick from Silent Hero Cigars to that list, and the Irish Wolfhound from our friend Tomas over at Ultimo Cigars. And we're going to be releasing this episode a few days before St. Patrick's Day, so if you don't have something to smoke, definitely get on SilentHeroCigar.com, UltimoCigars.com, and get you one of those. Get you some. I can't remember who said that, but some Irish pubs and cigar lounges. St. Patrick's Day is a major drinking holiday, and many cigar smokers pair cigars with Irish whiskey or a pint of Guinness. And you guys heard Nathan on our last episode. Him and his wife went to Dublin, and he went to the oldest pub in Ireland, Sean's Bar, and he brought us back a bottle of Irish whiskey from there. So Jameson, that's Irish whiskey. I think Jameson's probably one of the biggest known whiskeys from over in Ireland. And then Redbreast 12-year, a rich Irish whiskey. It says that pairs well with a full body smoke. And then let's see what else we got. Oh, the Guinness Stout. Again, Tulsa Rumblers. The creamy roasted malt flavors go well with the Maduro cigar. So, and look, for more on spirits, tune into our friend Jason over at the Dram Amateur podcast. He's going to do a lot more justice to the bourbons and whiskeys and mezcals and all that good stuff. So,
oh yeah. Now, but the only thing I would say is that when you get your Guinness Stout, if they bring it to you cold, send it back, because it's one of those that's meant to be served at room temperature, and when it is, it really brings out the flavors, especially. And he's right; it goes with the like the first time I had Guinness, I actually had, believe it or not, a Punch Maduro, and you guys have heard us mention that. I really did, and it went so well together. And I tell you what else it goes with. Lately, I've had the factory smoked Maduro, which is not as Maduro. Okay, it's not as as intense as punch, but it really went well. But again, if your Guinness is too cold, it's just cold beer. It's just and nothing wrong with cold beer. Nothing wrong with that. But
and you guys know I'm not shy about I don't drink a lot, but I will tell you, my friend Mike Bellows, he owns Escapes Lawn Care down there in Georgia. If you're looking for your all electric lawn care service, look, I'm like a walking commercial here for Mike. But no, I seriously bring him up because he introduced me to what is it called, a black and tan, where it's like Guinness and Harp or Guinness and Bass. That was actually a decent beer. Have you ever had one of those?
Oh yeah, that's a standard. Now listen, sometimes you go to the pub. Speaking of that, sometimes they serve what's called a black velvet. Now there is a black velvet whiskey, but what I'm talking about, sometimes they'll serve it's a half Guinness, half apple cider.
Ooh.
And dude, it is so good. Now, does it pair with a cigar? Not really, in my opinion. Does it pair with a good English pipe tobacco? Oh yeah.
and that's where I was going to bring you up next, or bring up next was because Irish pipe tobaccos is Peterson in Ireland?
Yes.
Okay.
So yeah, the Peterson. Of course, they make all kinds of pipes, and they. Although a lot of the tobacco manufacturing, honestly, is now done more in Denmark. But Peterson. By the way, my second favorite pipe tobacco of all time, the first one you guys know is Prince Albert. There could be no question. But the second one is Irish Flake. And honestly, it has nothing to do with Ireland. Because it's almost a straight burley, and it's really strong. But they call it Irish because of the strength of the tobacco. It has, but they call it Irish Flake. So if you've never had that, get to your tobacconist or online and get you 10 of that. And if you guys, some of you cigar smokers especially, if you're sitting out there going, well, that pipe tobacco's a little too mellow for me, I need something with a little kick, I guarantee you Irish Flake will give you a drop kick Murphy to the face.
There you go. Woo! Man, I love how you tied it in. Right, you're shipping up to Boston. Because, some of my found was like the Nutty Irishman and Irish Blessing from our Cornell and Deal, and I am so excited. I handed you the bag earlier. I picked up some of the folklore. I know it doesn't have anything to do with St. Patrick's Day, but I am really looking forward to sampling some of that folklore pipe tobacco. I've heard a lot of good things.
It's a small batch, very limited, so get out there and get some.
Yeah, get you some.
By the way, the guy who I know said that is John Cena.
Oh, is that who it said? Okay.
Yeah, he goes, come get you some,
I thought he said you can't see me.
Well, he has he's been in the biz like for 20 years in wrestling, so believe it, he's kind of went through a lot of gimmicks.
Yeah. His new heel gimmick, right?
Yeah, I tell you what, a lot of people are talking about that, and we're not going to cover wrestling too much on this one, but
right.
But I did want to address that because I wondered, honestly, because I knew it was going to be when Cena won the Elimination Chamber. I knew he was going to face Cody Rhodes for the undisputed title, and the thing I wondered, because they almost never have a good guy and a good guy. We call it a face and a face. They always have a face and a heel. The heel being the bad guy, but. I was wondering which one of them was going to turn. Honestly, at the moment, then Rock came out and Cody was like, "Go F yourself." I thought that was Cody coming unglued, going back.
Yeah.
And so
becoming the American Nightmare.
Yeah, he truly is American Nightmare.
Yeah.
So I was really taken by surprise. Oh, by the way, congratulations to LA Knight.
Yeah,
winning back the U.S. Heavyweight Championship.
That's right. Let me talk to you real quick. I heard John Cena's going to change. He's going to become Friar Tuck now because he's got that big halo bald spot in the back of his head.
Where's your boom boom?
Oh man, because I always push the wrong button. Because I would have pushed this. Look, because I would have pushed this one, and this is what I got. And I'd be like, oh, that was a good one. I don't get the wah 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 on that one, right?
So anyway, but
But yeah, so and another thing I wanted to mention, if you're looking at, maybe you don't drink, but you're looking for something to pair with your Candela cigar, hey, jump on getgrinds.com and get you a can of Grind Stout pouches. I bet that would pair really nice with some cigars.
The dark, it's kind of like coffee and beer.
Yeah.
The dark stout is what they're, or something like that, that they're doing. Now, really, with the grinds, I tell you, my go-to for them is the Black Ops Wintergreen.
Black Ops.
It kind of fits my pseudo military style.
That's right.
I'm kind of rocking here. I got the buzz cut and the olive drab T-shirt, and the cigar.
Nothing like getting a Black Ops Wintergreen pouch and watching SWAT on CBS.
Wow. So speaking of watching stuff, Paige Turner and myself, we have gotten into this series, and it's an old series. A lot of you probably seen everything, and you guys go, where y'all been? But we got into Breaking Bad.
Yeah, I've never seen an episode of it.
So the premise is this guy, he was a chemistry teacher at a high school. He finds himself with stage 3 lung cancer, and basically needs to, I can't provide, I got to provide for my family. I'm going to die here pretty quick. So he decides to start cooking methamphetamine.
Because nothing will kill you quicker.
And so, to make a boatload of cash, like real quick,
Right.
And so the show is him like going from bad to worse, like from this to that, on and down. Now there's 5 seasons of it. There's a spinoff series called Better Call Saul. He's like a, you've heard of a criminal lawyer.
Yes.
Well, he is a criminal lawyer, and so that's what
Perfect.
they say. Yeah. So that's what. So if a lot of you, I won't really get too much into it. A lot of you probably already seen it. It was on A&E, and then it's currently available on Netflix and Amazon Prime. So definitely, if you haven't seen it, now what I like about the show is it is dramatic and it is entertaining, but the thing I really like about it, it asks a lot of rather profound ethical questions. Like for example, even the making the meth to feed your family, that's just a reworking of is it right to steal food to feed your family? We all know stealing's wrong, but
Right.
Is it right to steal food to feed your family? And we're not going to get into that here, but it shows that once you kind of go down that road, it shows that it leads to everything else. Then so if you decide, well, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and cook meth to support my family. Well, guess what? That decision has lots and lots of, and it does affect everybody else. You'll hear
Right.
people say, "Hey, I do what I want to do, and it's nobody else's business." Well, that is true a lot of times, but sometimes too, it's also true that what you do affects your family. It affects your children. It affects your extended family. So.
And I think Nathan touched on a little bit on that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
when he was on with us.
And so Breaking Bad, again, that's why we had the playlist last week, or last episode. That's why we did Breaking Bad, because it kind of represented that. And anyway, just wanted to kind of talk about that series. If you guys leave us comments, if you loved it, if you hated it, I tell you what, I need to get Sean into that. Now, Sean, this is how long we've known each other. So when The Walking Dead first came out, I think it was like 2010. I think that's when that came out.
Something like that. It's
Yeah.
forever ago.
And so he told me about it. He said, dude, this is the best. This is the best series ever. And he's still right. To me, Walking Dead is still the best television show in the last probably 30, 35, 40 years.
And you remember why I told you about that, right? I think I just saw like maybe 1 or 2 episodes, but remember you used to listen to all that like zombie radio classics and stuff?
We're Alive. By
That's
the way,
right.
that podcast is still going on. They're still having new episodes of different parts of the story and
Holy
stuff like
crap, that's like 30 years
that.
ago.
Yeah, We're Alive.
They may have been one of the first podcasts ever.
Well, they were one of the first to do like this continuing kind of a tune in next time
Right.
Kind of stuff to tell a story in the audio format. So it's been real good. But yeah,
So I'm getting a lot of grass out of this. I'm still getting some of the little bit of the nuttiness. The citrusy notes have dissipated a little bit. Ooh, look, I just used a big word.
Look at that.
And but which I would expect from a Candela wrapper. I'm getting a lot of grass. Not a bad cigar. Not a bad cigar at all. I see why they're popular for St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, because it does. It's real grassy. It kind of evokes feelings of spring. And kind of, to me, really like being outside in the beer tent or whatever.
This isn't a heavy cigar that's going to put you on your keister.
No, it absolutely isn't.
It's probably more like you can pair it with a good lager or something like that too.
Well, yeah, I would say maybe a light lager.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah, because honestly, a darker beer is going to drown this one out.
Okay,
I think.
I was just taking a stab at it, Justin. I was hoping I was right there.
And you were.
Hey, I was driving, trying to get into your wheelhouse, and I pulled in there a little bit. But yeah, I mean, I like the cigar. But I mentioned the Lounge Life because they were talking about those budget sticks, and Rob mentioned one from Aganorsa Leaf. It's one that them and Warp cigars do together. I cannot remember what the name of the cigar was, but it's like a $10 stick, and it's a black band with a little French bulldog on it. And I know that they have those at Tulsa Hill Cigars, so I'm gonna have to go by and get one of those because everything I've had from Warp and from Aganorsa Leaf has been fantastic. So. And we're hoping that Steve is trying to get a event with Blackbird cigars here in Tulsa. That would be awesome too. So. Just some throwing in some cigar news as we kind of go along here.
Oh yeah,
as it comes to me, because that's how I prepare. It just comes to me.
Right, exactly, and so yeah. In fact, guys, let me tell you what kind of kick this cigar has. Okay, so I wanted to kind of get into this too, and we're going to come back around to it.
Okay,
but so I finally got an electronic drum set.
Boom,
going. It's the Stratus Core. We couldn't do the Prime. This Core is like 2,000. The Prime is like 4,500. So we had to kind of. But if you get acoustic drums, when you see the price up for the drums, like the bass and the tom stacked up,
right?
That's just the drums. You got to buy the hardware, the cymbals,
right?
All that. So whatever price you see on there, this is only $900. Right. So you have some drums there. Well, you got to put them on something. That pedals are going to cost you.
Yep.
Rack's going to cost you. Okay. Anyway, so got that, and comes with like 75 drum kits.
So you can play like your classic sounding drum kit, or you could play like a Tommy Lee, Dead Mouse.
Yeah, I mean, just
trap house or whatever the kind of techno beat.
Now the one that has impressed me the most is actually called Texas Chainsaw. And it has
not the massacre.
Right. It's just so anyway. Why did I interrupt my cigar story because I started playing this morning and had my headphones on and jamming and stuff and arranging stuff. One thing about electronic drums, you can arrange these things like with pinpoint accuracy. I mean,
wow.
Because they're a lot smaller. They're not big and fat like like acoustic drums. So you can just arrange these things. I mean, so it's just endless, like how you can arrange these. The rack is good quality and all this. Anyway, so
and with the setup that you have, I saw it right before we hit record. If that was a acoustic drum set, I mean, you would have taken up almost all of that room that you had in there.
Right. And this is, it's the one thing about the Core. It's real low profile. It's a space saving. So anyway, so I started jamming. I knew we had a podcast today. I knew I had to get ready for it. So I actually missed lunch because I kept saying, well, let me just go through a few more things and try this, try that. And then I looked up, it's like 2:30.
Wait, hold on. You missed lunch?
I know. It's hard to believe. Wait, even the music stopped.
The whole world shut down for just a minute.
There was a collective gasp in the Potiverse.
That's right.
But
breaking news: Justin misses lunch.
Mm-hmm.
And now 14 DoorDash drivers just pulled up.
So, listen. And I still came out here, and just lit up a cigar and went for it.
Oh, I see what you did there. You said all that to tell them how not overpowering the cigar is.
Right. So normally we would tell you don't smoke a cigar on an empty stomach. There are some I will tell you, like say the Tabernacle or
Yes.
Sean's new love of his life, the Liga Privada number 9.
Yes. Oh, that's such. We'll talk about that.
Right. But you do not smoke those on an empty stomach. You will be losing whatever lunch you didn't have or whatever. I promise you. Even I would. But this one treats you just fine. And if I'd had like some corned beef and cabbage or a good Reuben sandwich.
Man, I'm so glad you said that. I was going to ask you to kind of stay with this with the leprechaun theme here. Not the one you put in a figure 4 leg lock. But, so do you ever partake in any of the old Irish traditions on St. Patrick's Day? Like, do you have a green beer or not Rolling Rock, but maybe that's just in a green bottle.
Yeah, it's just a green bottle.
But have you ever partaken in? Like, I have a friend Dan, who he is Irish, and he's got the big red beard and everything, and just a hell of a guy he is. Dan, what's up, brother? He is the head chef, executive chef at McGill's 19 at the top of the Hard Rock.
Wow.
But St. Patrick's Day is like his Christmas. Like, he starts drinking green beer at like midnight and goes all day, and he's drinking the corned beef, or he's eating the corned beef and cabbage and the green beer and the green eggs and ham and all that stuff, right?
Green eggs and ham.
Or is that just a Dr. Seuss thing?
I think that's Dr. Oseuss.
Oh, Dr. Oseuss. Yeah, that's his long distance cousin, right?
So,
but yeah, so I don't partake in my kids do. They are bound and determined that they are going to set up a leprechaun trap, and they're going to catch a leprechaun this year.
And just put out a bowl of milk. That's what they like, a bowl of milk. That's what they used to say. Well, I have a couple of interesting, and we don't either. St. Paddy's Day for us is just, if I have beer, but I have beer all the time anyway. So
every day is St. Paddy's Day.
Right, pretty much. So, but here's a couple of interesting things. Now, if you are Protestant in your, let's say you go to Baptist church or Presbyterian church or Methodist, or, what I'm saying, you're Protestant.
Uh-huh.
You're not Catholic.
Not Irish Catholic.
Or Catholic, period.
Okay.
So, when they used to celebrate St. Patrick's Day, the Protestants, they would always wear orange.
Always wear orange.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, they would always wear orange in kind of stark contrast to St. Patrick's Day for the green and all that. So I always found that interesting. And there was a commercial a couple of weeks ago, or a week ago, I'm sorry, that like from Ashley Furniture, and they were having their Orange in March sale, and they never said anything about St. Patrick's Day or anything, but I found it interesting that they were having their Orange in March sale.
Right.
And I'm like, I wonder if somebody's trying to send like a secret message, like,
right.
But the other thing I just wanted to mention, and I think I've talked about this before, but I don't care.
Okay.
So now also, we just had Ash Wednesday. Speaking of the church and stuff like that.
That's right.
And that's right. That's the Wednesday after Mardi Gras.
Okay.
So what that entails is that Lent begins. That is, you kind of give up something for 40 days until Easter. And then you can kind of go back to it, and usually it's like, a lot of people give up red meat.
Yes.
Some people even give up cigars and pipe tobacco.
That's not us.
They're weird.
Right.
But some people give up, say watching television, something that they like, something they really, enjoy is like entertainment or whatever, just to kind of, it's like a fast for 40 days, to see they really don't need it, kind of break that cycle and all that.
Yeah.
Okay. So Lent is from Ash Wednesday to Easter. Now, here's the thing I found out a few years ago, which just blew me away, okay? So when you do Lent, you get weekends off. So if let's say, yes, because it's 40 days. Now, our weeks have 7 7 days in them. So you get weekends off. So Saturdays and Sundays, you can go back to smoking your cigars, and you're still in Lent. You're still participating. Now, but guess what? You also get St. Patrick's Day off. So if you're doing Lent, you say, I gave up
and that is
beer.
not because St. Patrick was the patron saint of drinking beer.
He was, but so if you know somebody say, I'd love to have that great beer, but I gave it up for Lent. You say, hey, you get not only you get the listen, this year
is a freebie.
It's on a Monday. So listen to this. You get the weekend off anyway.
You get a 3-day weekend.
And then you get to drink beer on Monday because it's St. Patrick's Day.
That's a 3-day bender right there.
Right. And you're still in Lent. You're still true to the church calendar. So I just thought that was just like way cool. I said, now there's some religion I can embrace.
Wait, now that's everybody, right? That doesn't matter if you're Catholic celebrating.
Well, if you're doing Lent, like I just said, like you're giving up something.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of churches do that. Like they'll have everybody kind of say, give up something. Again, it could be red meat. It could be sweets. It could be cigars. It could be
social media, whatever.
Right. Social media. There is but remember, if you give up that stuff, you have weekends off and you have St. Patrick's Day off.
Wow. Thank you, St. Patrick. The patron saint of days off from Lent. Because St. Patrick's Day is going to fall under Lent every year, right?
Yes.
So there you go.
That's why they did that, because to make sure that people still celebrate St. Patrick's Day. Everybody can't say, I'm in Lent, I can't do it. That kind of stuff.
So now, a silly question here. I know this is a silly question before I even ask it, but now the people that you see on Ash Wednesday that have like the ash cross on their forehead, is that mostly just Catholics that do that? Or is that any religion that celebrates Lent?
Well, there's a lot of churches who do that. Like our church does it, and we are not Catholic.
Right.
But it's just just a mark of what it costs to get rid of your sins and stuff like that. So and to remind you kind of have that on there for the day to remind you. A lot of times we walk around, hey, I'm a pretty good guy. I'm pretty good. I mean, I'm not as bad as them people. But with the ash on your forehead, it reminds you, nah, you got ash on you just like everybody else.
Right. Okay. I was just thinking about all this ash we're producing here in this ashtray from these cigars. If anybody needs to rehash of that, we got you over here at the Eagles Herf.
Yeah, if you missed out on Ash Wednesday, you can stop by
on an Ash Wednesday.
Yeah, and we can get you taken care of there. So
yeah, so. But yeah, that's just trying to tie St. Patrick's Day to cigars wasn't the easiest task I have had all week. But look, I think the biggest thing is it's just about having fun, right? Being part of this. Like me and Justin, I'm not even going to say me. Like Justin says, we have this very, very distinct pleasure of being part of this community, not the competition. And I almost felt bad wanting to smoke the Filthy Hooligans and not smoke like Nutty Irishman or something like that. But we are working on a big pipe tobacco. Jay Furman, who is a tremendous individual. He is one of the hosts of the Pipe and Tamper podcast with Bo 3.0, I think is what they're calling it now. But Jay is so... I told Justin, I said, when we do this episode, I am just going to sit back and get an education. Like, this is one I'm not going to be able to... I'm going to be just kind of asking questions because I'm going to have Justin's finally going to have somebody... Pipe Mike is very knowledgeable. But,
oh my gosh, yeah. Pipe Mike puts me to shame. But one thing Furman's going to, I think, talk about is probably the higher end pipes. Like the ones I smoke are well under $100, and some. I think a lot of the ones that he really thinks a lot of are 200, 300, 400. And so that's just a realm that I've never been able to really get into. It's like people used to say, well, do you like 12-year-old Scotch? And I said, well, the one shot of it I've really enjoyed. But at $250 a bottle, guess what? I haven't sampled too many of them.
Right, and I think that's going to be because Jay he loves artisan pipes, and I love that because I love the artwork that goes into that. You get a piece of briar wood and you make a pipe out of it. I think that is the artisanship of that is just fantastic.
Now, if you're good at that, corncobpipe.com they actually sell like these corn cobs that you can do with that now with too.
Okay.
So, again, if you mess it up, if you totally break it in half or whatever, I mean, it's not a huge loss, whereas briar can be very expensive.
Oh, yeah, briar, from what I'm learning, is not the cheapest piece of wood to get.
Right. So if you want to take a shot of that, and again, they're not a sponsor of this podcast. They don't pay us. I just happened to see that corncobpipe.com has these cobs that you can carve yourself. I
got to see what kind of pop culture reflections, techno, 8-bit gig Irish music we got going on. Did you hear that? It sounded like a video game.
I know. I was kind of dig. I was thinking Dig Dug, man.
Yeah.
I was thinking Dig Dug.
I was about to call up Justin over at Pop Culture Reflections podcast and ask him if he knew who that was.
Said, dude, it's a St. Patrick's Robotron. Come on. See,
I thought Dave and Rob slid into the podcast for a second.
It's still there. Listen.
Yeah.
Well, it kind of that little accordion thing or whatever it is.
It's kind of covering up there, but that's our 80s and 90s, totally 80s and 90s recall, pop culture reflections, children of the 80s moment there.
See, listen to all this podcast. He was able to get in there in like one statement.
I was able to squeeze him in, wasn't I?
See, he's slick like that, man. So
Slick Rick the Ruler.
And by the way. Speaking of that, so the ruler of NXT, Obafemi, successfully defended his title last night. This is last night on NXT Roadblock. It was a very, very good match. He was facing Moose from TNA Wrestling, and most importantly, Stephanie Vakir took Julia's belt. So now she's holding the North American title and the women's championship belt in NXT.
She's a double title holder.
That's right. No one has done that since Becky Lynch, who happens to be Irish.
Oh, see. I'm tying in podcasts and you're tying in wrestling.
That's right, man.
Who's also married to Seth freaking Rollins.
Come get your boyfriend.
Hey, come get your boyfriend.
McAfee said that on what was that wrong?
No, that was CM Punk that said that.
Yeah. That's right. So anyway,
even though Pat McAfee does have some great, him and is it Michael Cole? They do great on Raw on Netflix.
And since we're just promoting everybody now, we're just like the Mountain Dews went to our heads.
That's right.
So he always promotes, and they are really good. The Busted Open podcast on Sirius XM.
I've listened to a couple of them.
Yeah. They are, and Bully Ray's on there, and so it is just.
Now that wasn't one of the Dudley boys, was it? Or
yes.
Oh yes. Okay. Good. See, God. Thanks, Free Jack. I knew that.
Oh, free! And if I'm wrong, believe me, I know two people, probably Free Jack and a Wagon Master, who will quickly.
They're already sliding into your DMs.
Right, they're already sliding my DMs, like with a baseball slide kick, So, but yeah, I do believe so. But anyway, if you have SiriusXM, listen to Busted Open if you like wrestling.
So as we kind of get down to the final third here of the cigar, I haven't really had a lot change. Still getting that grass, some nuttiness. The citrus stuff kind of has dissipated, but so has my Mountain Dew Zero Sugar. So I don't. And again, I don't know if that's just happens to be because we were pairing those two, but all in all, nice cigar. I think it would be a great cigar if you're out and about on St. Patrick's Day to have, because again, it's not going to overwhelm you, and I think it's going to pair with several things nicely. And if you don't have the Filthy Hooligan, make sure you jump on SilentHeroCigars.com. Get you the Maverick, I believe is what it's called. I'm sorry, Bryce, if I messed that up. But the Candela, again, I've said it before, and I'll say it again on this podcast. I saw a guy post a picture of the Candela from Silent Hero Cigars, and it said, "Damn it, you made me like Candela cigars." And it was. I've smoked them 2 or 3 of them, and it is a fantastic cigar. Especially, it could be a morning cigar with a great cup of coffee, something that's not going to overwhelm you, but you are going to get a lot of good notes and stuff out of it. So
now, I would say, I would say you're right. The flavor doesn't change. Normally, we talk about like coffee with cigar. This, I think, coffee would overwhelm it. Like if you had a dark roast or an espresso or something like that. This, I would say, certainly like a breakfast blend or a light blend, light roast. If you want to do coffee at all, but mainly I would do like light lager, something along those lines with this. The flavor stays consistent all the way down. No construction issues. So, by the way, I'm going to put you on the spot, Sean. So, what did you say the price point on these Filthy?
They're $14.
So they're
$14 a stick, which is not bad. It's a Toro size. Yeah, I think it's a 50 ring gauge. We got John Popper doing some Irish music. It sounds like here behind us now.
again, he has all the references, man. So
you just don't typically. I don't think of a harmonica when I think about Irish music. You know what I mean?
Really? Okay.
You do.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, it's kind of a.
I think of like maybe harps and is bagpipes Irish?
That's
Scottish. Damn it! I was on such a roll. Time to go solo.
And again, just a big. I know I was going to say just a big shout out to Soma FM.
Yes,
I want you guys. If I can ever contact any of those guys and bring somebody on, I definitely want you to do that. Want you to listen to the radio, get the app or go online just to somafm.com and listen to the stations, the channels there. Find something you like, and maybe listen to something you're not sure if you like it, like Suburbs of Goa or Space Station Soma, or something.
There's
like
a tiki hut one that's like kind of a lounge vibe, for like a Vegas lounge vibe. It was pretty cool,
dude. I take my and they have a T-shirt that represents. I got to buy it before they discontinue, but it's the Illinois Street Lounge.
Yes, that's another one. I saw that station.
That is so. That's like it's like Austin Powers' favorite station.
That's right. Yeah,
that's what
groovy.
Don't worry. I'm not going to do Austin Powers either. I didn't do an Irish accent. I'm not going to. Yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
Say
sorry, mama.
Yeah, sorry, mama. So, but anyway, so hope you guys do that. Yeah, definitely. If you want to, if you're outside in the beer tent, this Filthy Hooligan is definitely one you want. In fact, for some of us, this would even be like a multiple cigar. Like if you wanted to smoke this down, you're still talking with the crew, and light up another one. This is light enough you can do that. So this, this definitely has its place. If you're wanting, the Tabernacle Bombshell or the Blackened Bombshell, this is not your cigar.
Yeah, no, this is not the Liga number 9.
No, and definitely, but it is a good smoke. It's hard to go wrong with anything from Alec Bradley. They've been around forever.
Yeah,
and so. So I just have nothing but good things to say. Go ahead, Sean.
And we're going to do, in celebration of when we had Nathan on the podcast, that was a pretty good episode for us. And thank you again for doing that, Justin, and thank you to Nathan. I decided, because we had been, just real quick, we had been down with Tony Barrios down at Classic Cigars, and we were enjoying all his cigars and stuff. And just talking with Jeff and Andrew down there, we were talking, something came up about the Ligas, and I said, I've always wanted to smoke one, but I have been deathly afraid because I'm like, they look like they're going to put me on my keister, right? And they both asked me, hey, well, you got, they listened to the podcast, and they said, you've smoked the Tabernacle. If you can smoke the Tabernacle, that you're going to be fine with the Liga. And so I did. I bought one, and it was a phenomenal cigar. And the reason why I really wanted to get into it, and I'm paraphrasing here a little bit, is I was watching a little documentary thing with Jonathan Drew. Rob, his name escapes me, but he's the distiller that blends the blackened whiskey for Metallica, and James Hetfield, and they were talking about the blending process for the blackened M81. And James Hetfield told Jonathan Drew, he said, well, you basically sent me your whole warehouse, right? And he was smoking through
and emerging new sounds from the worlds of Celtic music All here on Soma FM, listener-supported internet radio.
And so, as he was smoking through, he said the Liga 9 was the best cigar he'd ever smoked. And James jokingly said, I just wanted to know if there was any way we could just rip this off and call it the Blackened Cigar. And I thought, if James likes it, because James is a cigar smoker, right? I got to try this. And then Jeff and Andrew kind of boosted my confidence, and I'm so glad that they did. So we are going to do a whole episode just on the Liga 9, and we're going to see if it doesn't take out the Tabernacle for your world heavyweight champion of the world.
Well, and because there's a rumor that it has already taken one championship, but we'll talk about that at that time. But there's a rumor that it already has a belt already.
Well,
but it may be going for multiple titles, just like Stephanie Bakir.
This could be the first 3-time belt holder.
3 different belts.
3 different belts. I don't know which 3 it's going to be, but hey, this is our world. We're just having fun with it.
Oh yeah. So and again, be looking forward to some of those episodes I talked about earlier. The ladies cigar smoking and with bourbon and ash and Jay Furman. So we have a lot of stuff still yet to come.
Yeah.
Hopefully that again we're going to do everything we can do. The April 12th event. We want to sit down with those guys, RR and those guys.
Oh yeah.
And so definitely we just want to keep this rolling. Thank you all again for all the guys. I'll tell you. In the end, like I see something on Facebook or he sees something on Instagram or people say, honestly, I still can't believe that anyone listens to this show.
Hey,
because
and I'm thankful that they do. And again, I can't ever say enough good things about the podcast community. Me and my wife Jess, we were on with Jim and Lindsay over at Children of the 80s, and Jim said, I don't smoke cigars. He said, but I absolutely love you and Justin's podcast, because he said he can listen to it and feel like he's hanging out with us. And that's one of the greatest compliments I know that I can receive. And I think you feel the same way. And guys, don't tell Justin. I'm working on a special surprise for a birthday episode for him in July. He made a little special request. I don't want to tell you what it is because he might hear this. But
I might actually listen to my own podcast.
Yeah, you might actually listen back to this. But so don't tell him. But that is in the works. I have got the ball rolling, if you will. But and we would love, and we're working on this. This all sounds great in theory, but trying to coordinate everybody's schedules. We'd love to actually do a combined episode with the guys over at the Lounge Life. The Real Smoke guys out in Nashville, Mick and Charles, great, YouTube podcasts, guys. I mean, look, check all of them out. Again, not a competition,
right?
Not going to hurt our feelings,
right? And so, just as we're kind of winding down here, I wanted to send a little shout out to a guy I met last Sunday. He does the Golf and Politics podcast. If you Sean and I are no good at golf, and we never discuss politics.
I should say those are two things that we're not very good at.
Right. So look, I know they're probably not going to have us on their show.
Right.
And and I don't think either one of the hosts smoke cigars or in that. So we may not ever have them on our show. But
you say that, but golf and cigars goes hand. I mean, a lot of golfers smoke cigars.
That's true. That's why I'm kind of bringing it up, is because if they wanted to come on and talk about golf, I mean, we would just turn off our mics and just let them go. But if golf and politics, and what it is, the two hosts, one guy is a dyed-in-the-wool Democrat, one guy is a dyed-in-the-wool Republican, and they counterpoint, and they do get, not like nasty toward each other, but they do get intense. And so if that kind of thing interests you, say more political stuff, like what the Congress is doing or the president's doing or this kind of thing, or if you like golf, I mean, they cover the golf scene really, really well. And so again, just a shout out to them. again, our paths probably won't ever really intersect. I can't see why they would want us on their show, but if you guys are interested in that, if that say, oh, I love that say discourse or political debate or whatever, golf and politics, wherever you get your podcasts.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, again, I don't know that they'll ever invite us on, but hey, it's still community, right?
That's right. That's right. It's community.
Because look, and like I said, listen to these other guys because they're not us and we're not them, right? You're going to hear stuff on each, and maybe some of it sounds the same, but again, they're not us and we're not them. We're all just trying to find our niche in this podiverse, as Justin likes to call it. I love saying that. So
that's a word.
So, well, Justin, what you got before we get out of here?
Well, again, just thank you all for listening to us, and we are very happy to again kind of be on there. Also, keep a lookout for Sounds of Smoke.
Yes.
So that is coming. That will be something very different, not in competition, but as a Smoke and Sounds kind of a B-side.
It's like the filler inside the cigar.
That's right. And
you see what I did there?
Oh, that was great because if Justin is anything, he's definitely a filler.
Well, hey, on that note, that's a wrap for this episode of Smoking Sounds. We hope you enjoyed the blend of cigars, pipes, and music that we shared today. Thank you for tuning in and being part of our community. If you like what you heard, please follow us on social media at Smoking Sounds Pod. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast so you never miss a beat or a draw. And if you're feeling generous, please leave us a 5-star review. It helps others find the show. So until next time, keep your cigars lit, your pipes packed, and the sounds smoking.